You get the call on a Tuesday. Your uncle, the quiet one, the one who never talked about what he did for work, has passed away. And he's left you $1 million. You don't cry right away. You just stare at the ceiling and think, this changes everything. And you're right. It does change everything. Just not the way you think. Because within 24 months, if you're like most first-generation inheritors, that $1 million is gone. Not stolen. Not gambled. Not lost to drugs or excess. Just quietly eroded by decisions that felt smart at the time. This is a story about that erosion. And about the system that protects people who know the rules, and quietly destroys people who don't. Level 01. The first decision. Month 1. The money hits your account. $1 million. You've never seen that number with your name next to it. Your first instinct is to move it somewhere safe. You open a savings account. The bank manager smiles, shakes your hand, and says the word wealth management for the first time. They offer you a managed portfolio. 1.2% annual fee. Sounds small. On $1 million, that's $12,000 a year, quietly leaving your account while you sleep. Over 10 years, assuming modest 6% market returns, that fee alone costs you over $180,000 in compounding opportunity. You sign anyway because no one told you to ask that question. Starting capital. $1 million. Annual fee 1.2%. $12,000. 10 years hidden cost. $180,000 plus. Then you buy the car. $85,000. You pay cash because debt feels wrong. What you don't know, that car loses 22% of its value the moment you drive it off the lot. In 18 months, it's worth $52,000. You just lit $33,000 on fire and called it a reward. Level 02. The real estate trap. Month 4. A friend introduces you to a real estate deal. Passive income, he says. Cash flow every month. You put $200,000 into a short-term rental property in a tourist city. What the brochure doesn't mention, property management fees eat 12% of gross revenue. Maintenance averages $8,000 a year. Vacancy runs at 28% outside peak season. Your projected $2,400 monthly income becomes $900 on a good month, and zero in January. You're not losing money, but you're not building it either. You're just busy. Busy is the enemy of wealthy. Real wealth doesn't keep you busy. It keeps you free. The moment an asset requires your constant attention, it has become a second job, not an investment. Level 03. The angel investment that wasn't. Month 9. You're feeling confident now. You've done deals. You have a portfolio manager, a property, a car. You feel like a player. Then comes the startup pitch. A college friend. An app. Disrupting logistics. You write a $150,000 check. The round closes at a $6 million valuation. What you didn't know to ask. What's the liquidation preference? Preferred shareholders, the institutional investors, get paid first in any exit. Common shareholders, which is what you are, get what's left. When the company sells for $4 million in year 2, the preferred investors recover their capital. You get $0. Investment. $150,000. Exit valuation. $4 million. Your return. $0. Month 14. You do the math for the first time. Really do it. You have $480,000 left. You started with $1 million. You haven't been reckless. You haven't been extravagant. You've just been uninformed. Level 04. The system you didn't know existed. Here is what your uncle knew. Here is what the people who stay wealthy have always known. There is a parallel financial world. It does not advertise. It does not have a website you can find easily. It is accessed through relationships, through legal structures, through a vocabulary most people are never taught. It's called private equity. And the core of how it works is elegantly simple. You find a company generating $500,000 a year in profit. An HVAC business, a boring regional manufacturer, a dental group. You buy it for $2.5 million, 5 times earnings, which is standard for small private businesses. You use $500,000 of your own money and borrow $2 million from a bank, using the company's own cash flow to repay the loan. This is called a leveraged buyout, and it is entirely legal. Purchase price. $2.5 million. Your capital in. $500,000. Bank debt. $2 million. Over 5 years, the company's cash flow repays the debt. You improve operations. Add a second location, streamline the team from 18 to 14 people, implement software that cuts invoice time by 40%. Now it generates $800,000 a year. You sell it for $4.8 million. You put in $500,000. You walk away with $4.2 million after debt repayment. That's an 8.4x return in 5 years. This is not a secret strategy. Warren Buffett has written about it publicly. But it is only accessible to people who know the language, who have the relationships, and who understand that the best deals are never listed anywhere. Level 05. The hidden advantage. Your uncle knew something else. The greatest advantage in private equity is not capital. It is information asymmetry. When a business owner in his 60s is ready to retire, he does not list his company on a marketplace. He calls someone he trusts. That someone, the private equity operator, the family office, the independent sponsor, buys the company before the market ever knows it exists. No auction. No bidding war. Just a quiet transaction at a fair price between two parties who understand the deal. This is called proprietary deal flow, and it is the single most powerful advantage in private markets. The people who have it generate returns 3x higher than those who compete at auction. Your uncle built that network over 30 years. He attended the same industry conferences. He joined a regional association of business owners. He served on a bank's advisory board. He was known. And being known, being the person who gets the call before the listing, is worth more than any amount of capital. Proprietary deal return. 22%. Auction deal return. 7%. Advantage multiplier. 3x. Level 06. What you do differently this time. Month 24. You have $380,000 left. Not broke, but close enough to feel it. You stop. You get quiet. You do the one thing you should have done in month 1. You learn the rules before you play the game. You read every acquisition done by small PE firms in the last 3 years. You find a search fund, a structure where you raise a small amount of capital to fund your search for a business to buy, and spend 6 months calling business owners in the Midwest who might be ready to exit. Plumbing companies, specialty logistics, commercial cleaning. Boring, beautiful, cash-generating businesses that nobody glamorous wants to own. On month 31 you find it. A regional HVAC company. $640,000 in annual profit. Owner is 67. No succession plan. He shakes your hand over coffee and says, "I just need to know my people will be taken care of." You write a letter of intent for $3.2 million. 5 times earnings. You put in $320,000 of your remaining capital and arrange an SBA loan for the rest. The company's own cash flow handles the debt service. Year 1, you clear $290,000 in personal income after debt payments. You are now, for the first time, on the right side of the system. The wealthy don't simply have more money. They have more maps. They know which roads exist before they start driving, and they know which roads were built specifically to move their money quietly into someone else's pocket. Your uncle didn't leave you $1 million. He left you a test. The money was just the enrollment fee. The education was always going to cost more than that. The real inheritance was the question it forced you to ask. Do I know the rules of this game? Now you do. Kindly subscribe, share, tell us where you are watching from, and check out related videos on personal finance and career building. See you in next video.